Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Idrissa Mwonge, and you're still watching the Day Break here on BTM TV. Like I told you earlier, there's a code that is running on top of your screen. Kindly, grab your phone and press those digits and follow the prompts. So you're going to do us proud. We are really proud of you already, and when you do this, you're going to be more proud. I've been joined by Council Funya Derek. Doesn't need much introduction. He's been with us a number of times on this particular show and other, talk shows that we have on this mighty station. Good to have you, Council. A good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Idrissa. I'm very, very happy to be back again on the Day Break.
Our pleasure.
It's always interesting and pleasure to be here and discuss very, very interesting issues pertaining our country, our democracy, and our systems generally, and our way of lives as Ugandans. So I am looking forward to a very fruitful deliberation on the topics of the day. Yes.
Well, let's begin with one of the burning topics, and I just want you to share your perspective on this. What some people have described as injustice from the state, particularly from an agency of the state called the NEMA. Demolishing people's buildings who are said to have settled or encroached on a wetland. You as a leader, someone as a lawyer, and someone who has ever attempted to become a leader of people, what are your thoughts on such an enforcement that is making people now homeless, children, homeless, no longer going to school because they have no settlement?
Thank you, Idrissa, for that question. It is extremely sad to see families disintegrated, people's hopes and dreams shattered in such a manner. It is pale, it is gloomy what's happening in Lubigi. That's how hell feels like. However, I do not appear on this show to be a people pleaser. It is very, very dangerous, not for only people of Lubigi, but for the nation at large to occupy protected areas and swampy areas or wetlands. The real life, they give us the air that we breathe. They make sure that we inhabit a state that is a good inheritance for future generations. Now, what happened in Lubigi is a knee-jerk reaction from a state agency, the National Environment Management Authority, in doing what they ought to have done years earlier, not allowed people even flirt with the idea that you can go and replace the habitat of the great golden crowned crested crane. Wetlands are catchment areas and habitats of these very good birds. Now, I've joked around on certain shows where I've been invited to speak and told people, when you look at the skies of Kampala, you can't really find birds that represent life. You'll find Marlboro stocks, what they commonly call kaloli. Then you'll find pabana. I think the direct transaction is, please give me your children, I need to eat them. And then you'll find the crow. In the Luganda, Namongona. Now these birds are scavengers. They are, carnivorous in nature. When they are hovering over the skies of Kampala, what they view down there is lepers or carcasses. Now, if it doesn't take a lot of rocket science to understand that the air in Kampala is highly polluted. Kampala is a big construction site. No wonder we have issues to do with poor air quality. We have increased cases of cancer in the Cancer Institute and a great burden. Trees have been cut down by KCCA and all that. So I think with the state protecting our inheritance, that is the environment, at the cost of bringing pain. For me, the downside is that they came in later on, when people had become comfortable, that these areas can be encroached on.
And those are the concerns that we have, Council. Where has NEMA been? These are people who say they have settled in such places and for more than 10 years. And also another thing I want to put to you, because I know you're well conversant with this. I've heard you having clients who have land wrangles.
Yes, yes.
Some people here, they claim to have land titles. They've been there much longer than NEMA was established. There's a man I saw who said that he's been there since the 1970s. And others, they show you the land agreements they have. So people have documents. How can you come and claim and say that they are occupying wetlands?
Now, you have to understand the creation of our system, land ownership system, the borrowed system called the torrent system that came here, gave land ownership, and land was divided amongst. When the colonial leaders, the imperialists were leaving this country, they handed over the inheritance. And they handed over forests, lakes, wetlands, protected areas, game reserves to the custody of the successors of the Queen, and that's the government of Uganda. Not to own them, but to keep them, preserve them for future generation. Even if you have a land title, a private milo to that effect, but a private milo with the wetland, with the river bank, with a lake shore, it is imperative to understand that that area, however much you have ownership, you cannot do as you please. This is a preserve of the custodian of the land of Uganda for future generations. Now, land titles don't mean anything when you're in a wetland. A wetland you can only utilize a wetland upon license. License
from NEMA.
A license that is given to you. A license does not mean ownership. It means usership rights. How do you do? There are activities that can be done in a wetland. Certainly not to construct a house where the crested crane lays its eggs. Certainly not to destroy the only sieve of carcinogens that go into the lakes. If you look at the state of Lake Victoria right now, you've seen the devastating effects it had with overflowing, and people's properties and lives were destroyed across. You've seen, if you like the breeze and you like lake cruises and what, you find algae, green algae, floating all over Lake Victoria. That is death. That is poison for you. This is the water that we drink. No wonder we have high cases of cancer. We have high cases of diseases that bring a burden, a health burden to the economy and to the nation as Uganda. And the given is, I have made this argument. Like I told you, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not interested to be a slave of people pleasing. I'm interested in telling the people to avoid calamity when the angel of death is passing. Because you see, NEMA gave a warning that from Lubigi they are going to Waise and other areas, including the constituency.
And when will they ever touch Luera?
I'm waiting to see them go to Luera and other areas to make sure that...
Is there the biggest wetland water catchment area we have in the country?
On the look of it, it could be, and I've seen rice growing, I've seen...
Do you know what is being depleted now?
Yes, I want to see NEMA go there. They're not just posturing. If it's not just a clearance to pave way for an investor.
And that's another concern that we have.
But most
that's selective application.
But most importantly, the quality of life that people in Lubigi have been living, understand, is an insult to what Ugandans should demand for. You understand?
How do you mean?
I mean, no Ugandan should be subjected to the kind of lifestyle environment the people in Lubigi have been degenerated to.
Council, I saw very good houses being demolished.
There's nothing that can come out of occupying an illegality.
I saw very good houses. I even saw developments like a school. I saw.
Maybe I could be short-sighted with the glasses on, but I can tell you it is hell. What is common in Lubigi, and I can tell you, is 1, drug abuse, prostitution, poor planning, failure to properly dispose of excretor materials, fecal materials, disease, criminality, gangster, mobbish, and then sharp practice from the LCs. So I want to see NEMA and police authorities, CID, look for the LCs that stamped those agreements. Now, I have seen people parade Buganda Land Board, Buganda Land Board Busuru receipts.
Yes.
Understand? I think the only remedy these people have is to go back and demand from Buganda Land Board for ripping the people off and giving them licenses in wetlands, whereas they don't have that mandate. So that's the only remedy they have. So I am thinking Ugandans should learn to understand their worth and value.
Let's go back to Nemba. Where have they been for all this time when people, encroached on this wetland, established, settlements there? You wait for someone to first build his house, big as that. I think only for you to wake up from your slum and come. Somebody must be sleeping on the job here, and they must be held accountable.
No. Look at the budget stretches of NEMA, but you shouldn't be asking such a question because it's highly academic, you understand. The question would be, why would you flirt with the idea of occupying a wetland when you know it's completely a wetland? Lubiji has been there since Mother Earth was created here. The purposes of Lubiji have been known. You see, in the constituency, you see, I decided to name myself Member of Parliament representing Lubaga South constituency because I hear no voice on this issue. So as a representative of my people in Lubaga South, we have the Nalukolongo channel. The Nalukolongo channel is a channel that pours in the Lubiji swamp for purposes of sieving water that will end up in Lake Victoria. So, because you see, the constituency has a population boom of the urban poor. Then the urban poor are left with no choices but to do substandard, to try to survive. I am saying we cannot survive any longer. We need to start living. We need to start living by having leaders that look at an exploding Kampala metropolitan population and start thinking about decent national housing. I saw one of the ladies, the one who worked as a maid in Saudi Arabia, Kadama, as they call her, and she narrated to us a story on how she bought a piece of land and how she left Saudi Arabia after some years, then came with her money and then constructed a house recently, and then it was raised down by NEMA. It basically means that our leaders, the members of parliament per se, who are there, have not thought about any policy or law or national housing to assist 3.5 million Ugandans who live within the metropolitan area, that's Wakiso, Kampala, and Mukono, to get a decent life. Now, the people in Lubiji should be demanding from its parliament, the parliament of Uganda, where are these laws? Where is this repatriation? Where are we going to do? You see, now the state that the leaders, and they are awkwardly quiet.
Is that part of their responsibility?
Why not? They are supposed to plan.
Among their three known responsibilities, where does this fall?
Appropriation of the budget, you understand? We saw recently NSSF build high-end houses in Loboa. They are planning some in Temangalo. And Temangalo has a wetland, if you get me right. And they're equally doing that.
And also the data history behind it.
The data history and all that. It's still on waging because the land question has not been resolved. Now, when you look at Katanga, when you look at where Joel Sonyonyi, the Lope, who went to
check on those people and commiserate with them.
Which I thought was for me a miss.
Come on, council. These people needed someone to go and commiserate
what is
with
going
them.
To
Where they were going.
I told you 90% of his constituents are victims, are potential victims of the NEMA ravage. Nakao West is 90% wetlands where people occupy. Now, I don't know what he came to do in Lubiji, instead of going to the floor of parliament and making sure that the voice of the homeless Kampala, the people dwelling in Kampala, is heard by apportioning a budget in national housing, by liaising with government to make sure that we start on the project, just like we're doing for the roads in Kampala, to make sure that the urban poor live a decent life.
You see, Council, the major question here is, first of all, we are all concerned, and we know the importance of preserving and conserving these wetlands. Nobody, there's no one who doesn't know the benefit, the importance of this. But the concerns that we have here is this, discrimination by NEMA, whereby it looks at, it turns a blind eye on some other people who have encroached on wetlands. I can tell you there are so many projects that have been established in wetlands. Others are even settlements. Apartments have been built. NEMA here has not attempted to touch any. But they only go for these peasants. These are things that are raising questions, and we wonder, why would you do this? The last time I checked, when you're applying the law, you need to, the law, is blind. It touches everybody.
Yeah, so, theoretically, the law should be blind. Lady Justice is blind, holding a sword to pass fair judgment. That's what everyone expects, you understand? But that's the law in lecture rooms in university. Now, the lecture...
The reality is different?
The practical aspect, and as a practitioner, I can tell you. You see, there is a pyramid, and there are some people on top of the food chain, and there are those who are on the bottom of the pyramid. Those who become food for the predator. Now, the prey is the people in Luigi who are linked into trying to survive. For me, the actions of constructing in a wetland, it's very expensive first and foremost, to construct in a wetland, very, very expensive. And if you do not apply the right material, you understand, that's when you live in water, when it rains, all the time, the disease and all that. Now, it is a desperate move. And I saw all walks of life, I can tell you, Idrissa. I saw an employee of State House, whose house was ravaged down. In fact, his narration was he had a meeting with the First Lady. This is what he said. I don't know how true that was, but his house was run down. I saw a veteran, a retired captain, clad in his ceremonial uniform, to come and to put up the last line of defense. That could not help. Then I saw a maid whose actions had made her leave this country to go for greener pastures and look for some money. All that was devoured by the devil. But people must understand that you cannot excuse theft. You cannot excuse extreme hunger by committing the felony of theft. Understand? Poor lives, poor standards, and hard times. Cannot you commit? Allow yourself get into a position where you have to commit offenses. And when you commit offenses, later on, you start seeking for a remedy. Now, those who have studied law and those who know practice law are always clear about this issue. You can only come before justice if your hands are clean.
He who asks for equity must come with clean hands.
You understand? And that's why all the lawyers you see here huffing and puffing about fundamental human rights, evictions, are all silent because there is no legal remedy. The only remedy available to the people who live in such areas is a political remedy. And the political remedy can only be crafted, can only be tailor-made from the hotbed of political activity, and that's Parliament and the executive. If they have no ear, if they have no voice there, and the silence is deafening, the silence in Parliament is deafening on issues that are affecting the country right now, then their only remedy is to look to the Almighty. Pray, and also never forget, lest you forget who was there for you when hard times hit. Leadership. I
saw them crying that you don't send a leader here. During time of elections, there is walk and come towards us, and this time around here we are.
Because the young people,
we are alone.
The young people will say, "Tibaina chebagambachi, Gwanga." They were the gatekeepers. Joel Senyonyi group and all members of Parliament were the gatekeepers. They were supposed to be in between the people of Luigi and the law, and plead for the people in Luigi that such harm.
But have you listened to the stories of these people? Do you know how long these guys have been in the
It doesn't matter. I can tell you.
So you can't blame these leaders. You cannot blame these members of Parliament they have there.
No. I do blame. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Understand? I should be hearing these statements from Parliament. And you must also, the public must also understand, Parliament was aware of these operations earlier on. They have supervising and and accountability committees. NEMA appeared before COSASE. KCCA appeared before COSASE, and these issues were brought up, that why are you attempting to evict people who have been categorized into bona fide, blah, 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 and all that by the members of parliament.
And you're saying that it is the term the members of parliament should have used it?
They should have used
to block this.
I normally see when stuff happens, they run to court. When a political party is being dislodged, they all run to court, file for injunctions and all that. I'm not seeing no activity here. I'm not seeing no activity there. I'm seeing nothing. Nothing, as if this is not a matter of national impact. I'm seeing nothing from Parliament. I don't see it on the order paper anytime soon. Now, this is the kind of leadership Ugandans chose for themselves.
Okay, let's take a break, Council. When you come back, we're going to be discussing corruption in the country, something that we've been discussing for decades. You know, but this time around, the president, lately there's some people who are now describing him as a biting dog, not just a barking one, because after he spoke that he had proof in his possession, just took 2 days for the CID to swing in action and take into custody 3 members of parliament, and the list is actually longer. We are about to see, many more other MPs being arrested. We'll take a break. When we come back, Councillor Lufunya is going to be sharing with us his perspective on this particular matter. Don't go away.
Aerotech Tours and Travel Limited kye kitongole ekyakakasibwa okusaabaza abantu mu nsi ez'enjawulo omuli USA, Canada n'endala nnyingi nga tukola ne ku visa services nga employment visa, business visa, permanent residence, saako air ticketing. Era tukuyambako ku paperwork eyeetaagisibwa mu kutambula. Tulina tour packages eri aba honeymoon, school tours ne group tours. Bw'osasulako ebitundu 5 ku 100 tukuyambako n'ogenda ebweru, ezisigadde n'ozisasula ng'otuuse. Eri gwe ayagala okugenda okukolera ebweru, tukufunira omulimu mu nsi ez'enjawulo. Tulina emmotoka ezitwala abantu ku airport, ate n'okubajjayo nga bavudde ebweru w'eggwanga. Tusangibwa Kampala Road ku Damaniko Plaza. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku nnamba zaffe ezowammanga.
Tubanjulira Destiny Productions bakafulu mu kukola TV shows, documentaries, obulango bwa TV ne radio, music videos, bakola videography ne photography, era barikodinga n'ennyimba, bakwata firimu, balina kamera ez'okupangisa, bateekerateekera emikolo, balina ebyuma bya disco ne public address system ne live band, kw'ossa n'okusomesa music mu ssomero lyabwe erya Destiny School of Music. Kale byonna bye weetaaga mu music ne video production bisange mu Destiny Productions. Ekkulambiro Kisaasi. Essimu 0707 64 700 ne ku 0770 7 57 Website www.destiny-studios.com. Email destinyproductionsug@gmail.com. Basange ne ku mikutu gimugatta bantu Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok ne ku YouTube. Zonna teekamo Destiny Productions UG.
Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching, the Daybreak. My name is Edirisa Mwonge. Still here with Councillor Lufunya Derek. Council, you have seen how, should I say, the state has been busy, security agents have been busy, trying to do something that we believe was initiated by the president, and that is fighting corruption. Yep. This time around, doing something that maybe is going to make the former IGG, Justice Mulyagonja, happy. Remember at one time during her tenure as an IGG, she said that some people are frustrating my work as IGG. When I'm going after the big fish, There is this phone call I received from the State House telling me to back off. But when we see now people as big as members of parliament being nabbed, also the president saying that there are those other civil servants, particularly from the Ministry of Finance, I think we are a little happy, some of us who abhor this vice of corruption. We are pleased to see, the big fish also being touched. Your insights into this, your thoughts when you see such things unfolding in the country, are you happy? Are you disappointed?
I am delighted. Delighted that finally the chief executive has started to exert pain and purge and declare the purge on the corrupt. People should be running for their lives, most especially the corrupt, because you see, corruption is a cancer. And some of the naysayers against the president and his approach to corruption have been that he's been always applying a slap on the wrist, a slap on the wrist to the corrupt, giving them a free pass, treating them with baby, and you see, like I said, it's a cancer, and it's a stage 4 cancer, and this is a cancer that has spread. It's spread. It has spared no parts. It's cancer of the cervix. It's prostate cancer. It's cancer of the lungs, the liver, and finally cancer of the bone marrows, or what they call leukemia.
So you're saying it's too late now?
No. Drugs.
Because if you speak about that,
it's spread. Yes.
In that context, I mean, you talk about a disease that
we've just discussed NEMA. And you will ask yourself, why is NEMA coming in late? Corruption. I think NEMA is given a
budget. Remember your example there, disease that has escalated that level.
It has spread.
It's no longer treatable. That patient in time soon is meeting his creator.
We are not yet at that level. You see the Baganda, once you have a disease and you're not coming back, you understand? Now, when you approach cancer, the medics can correct me if I'm wrong. And I think the president is a good read of oncology. You apply the last line of defense. Because cancer is mean, it is aggressive, it is mean. And even the treatment at this level, at stage 4, cancer that has spread, the treatment is available and it's called chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is very, very aggressive. It will take out your hair. It will take out your nails. It will darken your skin. They are pumping literally radioactive material into you. You understand?
But I've not seen anybody survive longer beyond that level. Yes,
there are survivors. There are tales of survivors. Because you see, if then we do not combat corruption, like a doctor applying chemotherapy on a cancer patient, then we are as good as the Baganda say, tumusembeze kubija. We can't allow the plague of cancer go through us. As a nation, it's been manifested in the army, it's been manifested in police, it's been manifested in the prosecution. We are going to discuss corruption, and you'll find that the prosecutors, DPP's office, are also corrupt. The judges, the judiciary has not been saved. Hospitals have not been saved. Roads, city councils like KCC have not been saved. State House itself.
Yes, there is corruption. The president so for one time admitted that.
So I don't think him as a person who now is presiding over terms where he wants to cement legacy can allow corruption to wipe out the gains that he has gotten.
Council, you're bluffing because
I ain't bluffing because you've never seen this before.
And that's where I was headed. What is the president trying to do here? Because you've seen himself trying to cover up the corrupt. And indeed, that's why some people blame him. they accuse him of condoning corruption.
Yeah, and I've always said...
and this time around, when we saw the president, when he was giving, you know, the speech of the national address, the state of national address, and him, yes, even when he was speaking about something serious, still was speaking, you know, in a jolly manner. I have now proof, and he's talking about it lightly. I mean, this demeanor here doesn't, you know, depict somebody who's serious to talk about something that has cost us a lot as a nation.
Yeah,
that's why we're concerned.
You see, I'm not. I don't read body language. I don't like.
As a communication expert, I do. I read his demeanor.
Definitely, you can read his demeanor, but I think you should be very concerned with his actions. You should be, because you see, I'm one of the people who thought that promiscuous public servants and legislators had put their tongues in the president's ear during the State of Nation address, because it appeared, the body language told us or explained to us that I mean, someone was putting their nasty tongue into the ear of the president to start speaking jokingly about the issue of corruption. But I have been proved wrong by the actions that followed days after his communication about crushing the corrupt. Mine is to extend the net. The corrupt, the writing is on the wall. You understand, Mr. President? If Mr. President is watching the Daybreak or anyone, the corruption, we must interrogate the Speaker of Parliament if we are going to fight corruption. We must.
On what?
The President has written himself. He's investigating. He's the largest consumer of intelligence.
You are talking about a President Council who spoke for more than an hour in the presence of the Speaker. The same Speaker who has sanctions on her shoulders from two powerful countries of the world, and the president played like he was totally unaware of what is happening. He didn't even comment on that. We expected him to say something about this.
No, and you see,
the fact that he didn't, this also surprised us. Is he not concerned about, you see, someone as powerful as the Speaker?
When your communication instincts come in, you understand they may be a bit deceiving, just like my legal or pundit analysis system. You see, we are not in the heads of the president, you understand? The best result we can get from the president is his actions against corruption. Does he detest? Can he accommodate? Because you see, one of the issues he's been accused of is to try to kiss and tell.
Yeah, accommodates the corrupt. I think that's
accommodation, that's debatable. Amnesty. You see, people were yearning for blood, but you see, the president must also act, I think, presidential. The intelligence of leadership would command that you do not give into the passions. The passions. You see, a classic example was when Jesus was being crucified. There was a lot of unfairness, and Pilate, who was the judge, who was the president, the equivalent of the president right now, was questioning. I don't see any fault with this man, Jesus Christ.
Nevertheless, he handed him over for crucifixion.
And you know what the Jews said? Don't mind him. You understand? Even if he's innocent, even if you crucify him, you understand? Let his blood not be on your head. Let his blood be on our heads. Right now, they're still fighting for Gaza.
Is that why he washed his hands?
Yes, he had to. You see, now you have to be extreme.
You say that's what they're fighting for?
That's why we still have the blood of the innocent blood of Jesus Christ. They say that let the blood of Jesus Christ be onto our head, not yours. So he washed his hands clean, and he let them take the blame for executing an innocent man. No wonder they still have wars up to now, never-ending wars. But that's besides the case. The issue is that the president, as a president, must know when to act, when not to act, when to strike hard, when to press the reign of terror button, and when to also give amnesty. These are the tools available to the president to make sure that the cancerous corruption that has plagued this country.
So some of us now believe, and the president has made us believe, and everybody can now tell that he only works at his convenience and to serve his interests at that particular time. When he wakes up, like this time round, there is something he's pushing for. When he feels that now I want to please my people, the wananchi, he's going to act. When he realizes that, oh, I'm now moving closer to the election, this is the button I should press. Oh, now I need something, to pass, in parliament with no so many hurdles. Now let me do this. So that also makes us question his will to fight corruption. He is not doing it for the good of the nation, but rather he is doing it to serve his selfish interests. And by selfish, I mean something that can help him, prolong his stay. So all this, that's why people are questioning it. Even when he comes out to put up this kind of fight, that look here, I'm now going to arrest the corrupt. People are like, no, this time around, there is something now that, you want to achieve.
Yeah, but I don't think in his age.
And that's why this fight, it doesn't need anything good. It's like when these committees of parliament, unearth certain scandals and they tell you this money was, stolen, this happened, this scandal here. Then at the end of the day, just write recommendations and stops there, dies there. No action is taken. The money that was lost is not recovered. At the end of the day, it doesn't help us. Same thing applies here. Watch the space. I can tell you, council here, these members of parliament who stole this money that is said to have been stolen, because one was, over $1 billion was recovered in one of the legislators' house. You know that? I had. I'm telling you, these people are going to walk away with it. It doesn't matter the days they're going to stay in Luzira, but at the end of it all is that they are going to be released and that is going to be swept under the carpet. That's how Ugandan business runs here. That's the norm of the day, and we're used to that. So, what do we benefit from this? Now, waste of time and keeping us journalists busy, coming here, talk about these issues, inviting you guests, share your insights.
I don't think it's in our place to really demand for the script from the president on what will happen. You understand? Next on keeping up with parliament, keeping up with corruption. He's not duty bound to give you a script to understand how he's going to press the buttons. He's the president, you understand? He knows that corruption is cancer and it's killing the institutions. How he loves to play with it, that's his prerogative. Perhaps if I were president, my approach would be a bit different from him. I don't have that privilege right now to be the chief executive and the consumer of all that intelligence. But I am saying, what you're saying is painting a grim picture that the fight for corruption may not seem as rosy as the preamble is stating. The arrest of the members of parliament is, a slap on the wrist. I am watching the space. I am praying for life. Me and you will come back here on the Daybreak and then discuss maybe an acquittal, a nolle prosequi, or a conviction. But for me, to do nothing, to totally do nothing is to be crippled fast. Now, the inaction of the president for me was of high concern. High concern. You understand? Why is it happening? Why do we have a sanctioned speaker? Why do we have corrupt judicial systems? Why do we have a rotting health service system? Why don't we have justice in the police? Even the army that was insulated from these practices, the president has warned them about inviting corruption, and we've seen people paraded in court for all those things. For me, the inaction, the serious inaction of the president about corruption was killing me softly. Now that he has demonstrated a demo. A demo.
It's just a demo.
It's a demo. Because the Baganda say chituza. Chino chichi. Chichali chichi. Chituza. I hope and I pray in my hearts of hearts that the techiba chituza wabula chibe chigula luji, let it be a door opener for the serious fight against the plague of corruption.
Council, now let's talk about this conduct. You must be concerned as an office of court. The kind of behavior that was exhibited by some I don't know, I'm even hesitating to call them agents of the state because no state agency has come out to say that these people are attached to us. But the people really arrested, Mr. Akamba, Honorable Akamba. It's not the first time it is happening. There's a certain class of people that is now used to that. Remember the terrorism suspects and what? It always happened, and there was no much public outcry. People like, in Uganda, we've reached a certain point where now we're invoking the Luganda saying, Zirinda Bolwange. It is happening, and someone don't talk about it. Member of Parliament being rearrested in such a manner. Personally, I'm concerned about the image of my country. I'm imagining someone is seated somewhere in New Delhi, in California, and they were contemplating coming to invest their money here, and they see such things, that an honorable member of Parliament can be arrested in such a manner. Guys in just plain clothes with guns in broad daylight. I saw one even kicking a woman there. These things, I'm not concerned that they are tainting the image of a country. And you earlier on, you hinted on the president, being concerned about his legacy.
Yeah.
A man would be really concerned about his legacy with such things would be coming out to, castigate them, condemn them.
Number one, I think any sane Ugandans would condemn the manner in which state operators have subjected or conducted arrests, and this goes to the security chiefs that cut us some slack. You can do it better. It is very crude. It is a tactic that is too medieval. It's like what Shaka Zulu would do, impaling his opponents. Now, I will not make Honorable Akamba a special person, because you see, it's not Honorable Akamba who's been subjected to such brutal arrests at the precincts of the court, but so many Ugandans. I have seen people being released and on their way to their homes, security operatives in the State Research Bureau kind of manner. The dreaded State Research arrest people, and people are whisked away. Now, the deafening silence for me, my concern is the action of the vanguards of the rule of law. Parliament. The Parliament of Uganda is awkwardly silent about the devouring of their own. Now, if the gatekeepers of the rule of law...
This argument I heard from one of them. I think it was Honorable Kabanda, the lady, who came. I saw her speak, and she was like, look, we always hear speaking against human rights violation. We always condemn these acts. I've never seen Honorable Kamba join us. And now let him feel it. This was her line of argument.
This is not a blame game, and I think that's a cheap shot. If she said that was below the belt. The issue would be if the manner in which Akamba was arrested should never, we should make a pact as Ugandans, should never be available to any state agency to arrest a citizen in such a manner.
It has always happened.
It has.
Have you always condemned it?
We have. I can't be here, seated here, you understand, and try to make justification or to give justification of what actually happened. Because you see, the first question, the logical question was, how was he even arrested? Because
I was even imagining, you're a lawyer, you're always hoping guys acquire bail.
Yes.
Imagine this was your client.
I can tell you the feeling. I can be in the shoes of Honorable Basalirwa. The feeling of being of getting temporary freedom for your client is the best. It's the best feeling. It's ecstasy. It's nothing.
And you
understand? And then, as you have them in your hands right now, all hell breaks loose and they are taken away from you. When I was a young advocate, I lost a client like that to what I call maleficent ruffians in the police. while at Nabweru court after securing bail.
Did you arrest him?
They rearrested him and took him to Luweero. I felt so bad. It kind of traumatized me because then I was like, what am I going to tell the wife and the children?
I understand.
Basalirwa, as a practitioner, I don't know his stand as a lawyer would be. What am I going to tell the wife of Honorable Akamba and the children that after securing your father, I've let you down, and I don't know. Actually,
good thing they saw everything as it unfolded.
What is happening brings a chilling effect down the spines of every Ugandan should be concerned. We should not allow arrests and detentions incommunicado. This is a member of parliament. At least for him,
he's been held incommunicado for the last 5 days.
He's been held incommunicado. He's been held.
And Council, can we still speak of Uganda as a democracy? No, what does the law say?
No, but
48 hours, you know.
That's why I'm trying to tell you this discussion, the silence of parliament is deafening in these issues. We have always talked about sharp practices by the prosecution, sanctioning trumped-up charges against citizens without investigating. I'm happy they even committed them to the High Court. I have never seen a bullet speed committal. Some people are languishing in Luzira for 10 years without being committed. You see, our justice system should be swift. And I do not say he should not be arrested. Because you see,
if he has a case to answer,
if he has a case to answer, he should be arrested.
Just like anyone. Course, like you said.
Yes, I want to see the speaker arrested. You understand? I want to see a judge paraded in Kenya.
You're praying for too much.
I'm not praying for too much. I mean, because I'm righteous, my prayers may be hard sometime. I've seen, it's not new. I've seen a deputy chief justice in Kenya being paraded before a criminal court. The Latins say, as long as you quam bene gesserint, as long as you behave yourself, then you cannot be insulated from this sort of action. No one is above the law. I want to see errant army officers. I want to see land grabbers arrested. I want to see them prosecuted in a fair and speedy manner so that I want to see fairness in the courtrooms. I want to see, I don't want to see inept prosecutors. I am glad Muwaganya, the star boy.
You've been concerned about that.
The star boy of the DPP right now is handling, is doing the what? Is doing the defensive for the prosecution. I'm happy if he meets worthy opponents on the other sides. My good friend who is Basalirwa and Kadinya, who is representing the accused person. I am glad. I want to see that. That's what I studied. That's what I know. I want to see the fairness and let the winner take it all.
Yes.
After the evidence has been evaluated and that's after the judge passes fair judgment, where we'll all accept, look, the man really took the bribe.
Indeed. As we are about to get out of here, still your comment on this kind of... Now we talk about Honorable Akamba. He was arrested on Friday.
Yeah.
It's coming now to 6 days and the man is still heading Communicado. What does this really, represent? I mean, especially when it comes to the judicial system of the country, doesn't this impact on it in a negative way?
You see, it's not the judiciary who arrested Honorable Akamba. Actually,
okay, this is an attack on the judiciary.
I don't think it's even an attack on the judiciary. It's just stemming the predatory, cannibalistic nature of the state. The state is a ruffian, you understand? The state is a ruffian. Now, why we have agencies or organs of state is to check the excesses, you understand? Can police officers be held accountable? The one who issued the order for arrest, can we trace for them?
Doesn't the modus operandi matter in this case?
The modus operandi is, and you see that's a military or tactical or law enforcement terminology. Modus operandi. How do you operate? How do you carry on operations? How do you conduct an arrest? Do you conduct an arrest in such a manner? I think you can be smarter. You understand? You can be smarter. You can be clean. It can be a surgical operation. You can nip Akamba from where. I don't think they roughed him up when he went to CID. They wrote to the speaker in a decent way. They were arrested because you see you can't run from the states. Ready or not, any corrupt person out there, I can tell you. Ready or not, here I come. You can hide, but I'm going to find you. That's what Lauren Hill and what
that's what
the Fugees. That's what they said. So you can't run away from the state, but I think we can be more smarter I'm taking
the iron hand of the state is
the
after
IGP. I'm telling the IGP, the new IGP, who has handled counterterrorism and all those things, that there are smarter ways. There are smarter ways of law enforcement nabbing members of parliament, judges, even the citizens of Uganda, without necessarily causing commotion and a bit of drama for us to come here as pundits and talk about it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Council Rufunya Derek, there for you. Thank you very much as well, our dear viewers who moved with us in this edition of the Daybreak. My name is Idrissa Muonge. From me and the team, we wish you a blessed day. May the good Lord bless you until we meet again. That is tomorrow. Inshallah. Goodbye for now. See you then.